Hey you guys, it's Kyle from Markham Reptiles, and today we're going to discuss changing the narrative on snakes. Before I get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to my partner Reptichip. Reptichip is a premium manufacturer of cocoa chip. Go check their link out in the description. So I genuinely wanted to know how I could better improve the perception people have of snakes. So I had no choice. I asked the people. I asked you guys this question on Instagram. You guys answered, and you definitely came through and gave really good answers. So let's get into those. The number one answer that you guys said over and over again was education. Now, I actually said this one myself, not to toot my own horn here, but I completely agree with you guys, okay? Education is absolutely the key to changing people's perception of animals. And furthermore, I think that educating children is the key, because some adults already have their minds made up, right? But kids are open canvases. We can help to shape their minds in the right way, and that is to love these beautiful animals and show that these animals are really harmless. The more we can educate the next generation, those are our future lawmakers, teachers, and reptile advocates. The next generation holds the key to our success in continuing the love of reptiles, and we need to enrich their minds with the love that we have for these animals. There is the old cliche, children are the future, and in this case, it's definitely right. So this includes your own children, this includes other people's children, this includes doing educational shows at schools, libraries, things of that nature. Because, yeah, it's nice to educate your own children. My children certainly love animals. But when you can reach beyond that and educate your family and their friends and their friends' friends and beyond, and even kids that you don't know through educational programs and things of that nature, then you are really extending your reach and fostering love in the next generation of children. Also, children are often a great way to reach the parents. A kid will want a corn snake, like Tinkerbell here, for example, and they'll bug their mom, bug their mom, bug their mom and their dad, and eventually they get themselves a corn snake, and their parent sees that these aren't crazy monsters, these are beautiful, peaceful, lovable animals that are much easier to take care of than a dog and a cat. Side note, you guys might see I got some marks on my hands here, and I don't know if you watched it, but I did a video about snakes and how dogs are potentially more dangerous, 100 to 150 times more dangerous to humans than snakes are. And the dog community was not happy with me, so I'm actually watching a family member's dog, and they gave me this good old bite right here. So I am officially issuing apologies to the dog community. I'm so sorry, dogs. Please stop biting me under my fingernails and all that good stuff. I didn't mean to insult you guys. I think you guys are great pets as well. I think that in some ways snakes are better pets, but I think in some ways dogs are really awesome too. I have a dog, and dogs, I'm sorry, please stop telling each other about me. Speaking of dogs, let's check in with my dog Dan from Shack Scales. Yeah, I won't say that again, you guys. But Dan's got a great snake fact for you guys. Check this out.
What is going on? This is Dan with Shack Scales. I have here a little saffron corn snake that was hatched here this year. This is just a little guy, but today's snake fact, an African rock python is actually Africa's largest snake.
Thanks, Dan. So the next answer that you guys provided was another great one, and that is getting people to handle these animals. Now, a hands-on experience is by far one of the best ways to educate people. People don't understand in words how beautiful it can be to interact with a snake, how relaxing it can be to interact with a snake. To me, sometimes it's almost like a meditation. Take my boy Maui here, for example. We produced this guy. He's a wonderful animal. He's doing a good job putting on some size. And it's a pleasure to interact with this guy, especially since I produced him. It's just a different type of love that I have for this animal. I saw him pop out of the egg. He's an awesome snake. And this is an awesome snake for me to give to kids and relatives who have a bit of a fear of snakes. and they don't mind handling this guy because a lot of my family members actually saw the pictures of him in the egg. Some saw him in person coming out of the egg, and they just love him. It fosters a different type of love for snakes when you see them actually be hatched or born, depending on what species we're talking about. But even if you haven't seen them be hatched or born, snakes like this ball python, like the corn snake that I was just holding, and even like my boa behind me, and my carpet python, they are all wonderful animals to be held. It just depends on people's comfortability level. My boa just hit 6 feet. Some people don't want to hold a 6-foot snake for their first time holding a snake. Some people want to dive right in, but a lot of people would prefer to hold a snake like Maui as the first time holding a snake. He's cool looking, he's not super big, and he's just an awesome, very calm animal that really doesn't move a whole lot. So behind me here, I have my carpet python, Smiley. Smiley is a male coastal carpet python, and sometimes Smiley just wants to come out and hang out, and that's exactly what was happening right now. I popped his enclosure open to see what he'd do. I already kind of knew what he'd do, and here he goes. He is on his way out, folks. So what do you say we go ahead and use Smiley in this video right now? All right. So the next thing that was mentioned was actually laws. And I think this is super important and not talked about enough. There's a lot of crazy laws going around right now. I live in Virginia, and there's actually a senator in Virginia trying to pass a bill right now where you cannot breed any type of animal, basically. It would cover all the snakes that I breed, and it's absolutely ridiculous. It's a ridiculous bill. And I support USARK, so I've already emailed all of my local representatives. And if you would like to email Virginia's representatives on my behalf, or if you live in Virginia, go ahead and contact me, and I'll give you a sample email to send to them and a list of their emails as well. Basically, you'll just have to copy and paste it and put your name in. And if you're not already, you should be supporting USARK. I list USARK's link in the description to every one of my videos. But if you don't know what USARK is, they are an organization that helps to fight for our rights with the lawmakers. And they actually stop these crazy bills like the one that's going on in Virginia right now from being passed. Now, furthermore, I believe that lawmakers and influencing them plays into education as well. We need people to educate lawmakers. Don't just go and put on an educational show at a school. Go to your local lawmakers, invite them to your snake zoo if you have one. Invite them to your reptile zoo. Go do an educational show for your local lawmakers. They need the hands-on experience. They need the education. They need to know facts that help them become more comfortable with snakes. As you guys said yourselves, learning is key, and our lawmakers have a lot to learn so that they can understand these beautiful, inquisitive, curious animals like Smiley right here. I have a few comments here that I'm going to put up as honorable mentions. I think this one was a pretty good comment. And it basically says when you do have people handling animals and things like that, or when you're doing educational shows, let people interact with these animals on their terms. I've literally had family members that it took them 2 or 3 months of seeing snakes every single day before they would hold one. And sometimes that's what it takes. Now, seeing and not running away might be step one for some people. And educating and just hearing about them might be step one for some people. But don't push people's limits. If someone doesn't want to hold a snake, do not force them to interact with a snake, or you're causing a negative experience. So another honorable mention was this person who said that you should isolate yourself from ignorance. Now, I personally understand this sentiment because I get a lot of ignorant people trying to comment on my posts and things like that. And all of that just comes with running a reptile YouTube and Instagram and things like that. But we cannot isolate ourselves, in my opinion, from the world and make things work. We can't be isolated. We need to interact with people, and that is how we will educate them. That is how we will get them to handle these animals. And that is how we will communicate with our lawmakers so that we can keep those animals. We don't want laws against retics and Burmese pythons and anacondas, because once they take those away, who's going to defend the people that have the boas? And once they take the boas away, who's going to defend the people that have the ball pythons and the corn snakes, etc.? We need to all have each other's backs. We need to all educate each other and other people about these animals. And we can't do any of that in isolation. As a matter of fact, I read the 48 Laws of Power, which is not a snake book, but it's a great book. And I'm going to put a quote here from the 48 Laws of Power. And it's basically just a couple of notes about why isolation is not a smart maneuver. Now, these next couple comments were pretty funny. I think one of them may have been serious. I'm pretty sure the second one was a joke. But here we have this comment right here about teaching the kids and letting the old people die. Okay? Obviously, we do want to teach kids, but obviously we don't want anyone to die, right? And old people can learn too. Old dogs can learn new tricks, and old human beings are just the same. They can learn, we can educate them, and when they gain knowledge, the fear will leave them. Which leads me to this last point, and this is going to be the last one that we do. I figured this was a pretty good note to leave off on. And that is, if all else fails, this person said just smack them around a bit. Now, obviously, we don't agree with this, but I thought that was a pretty funny comment. And sometimes people are very ignorant, and you want to smack them around a bit. But really, the best thing we can do is communicate with people, educate people, and definitely educate children, because children really are the future. Children aren't as ignorant. Children don't have these mental blockades that adults have. Children aren't going to sit there and argue. They're going to use their fresh, open minds to see that these are really beautiful animals. And when we share our love for these animals, they will definitely pick up on that. So don't go slapping people around. Just try to educate people, and don't take things too hard if people don't want to be educated, okay? Just keep on trying and don't give up, because if we give up, then we have failed. That'll do it for our video today, guys. Keep an eye on my breeding. I have 2 ball python females off food. I'm expecting some eggs from them soon. My northern white lip females look like they're building some follicles, so hopefully that goes well. Wish me luck with that. And thank you guys all for participating on Instagram. If you don't follow us on Instagram, it's at Markham Reptiles. Go give us a follow so you can participate in the next video. And share your thoughts right here. What can we do to change the perspective on snakes? Comment below. Let us know what you think. What is the way that we should be going about doing this? Because really, the main question I was asking was, I already knew that we should educate people. But what I'm asking you guys is, how do we go about doing this education in the best possible way so that people will get it and that we can make a widespread impact? And it seems that the best possible way to do this is by educating children. So children really are the future. You guys all have a wonderful day. Like, subscribe, share this video, tell your friends, and take care.